Anybody online that's got their video off, if you can hear it, please give us a thumbs up or something so that we know our sound system is working. Looks like a Laura or a Mike. Thank you, Mike. Appreciate it. That is the case. We are now live streaming. We record all of these meetings to YouTube. It is part of our official meeting minutes go around. Today is Monday, February 9th. This is the Old Farm District February board meeting. We meet monthly in classroom A here at the Larkspur Center. We always encourage people to show up. There's going to be all sorts of amazing craziness things going on this year. So I encourage everybody to share information with their friends and neighbors. My name is James DeRofi. I am the board chair. If the rest of the board can introduce themselves.
Carol Johnson, land use chair.
Ross Tinty. Brian Kennedy.
We also have one other member who is homesick with the high school flu that seems to be going
I've
around.
heard that was going on. Hopefully you're no longer contagious. I'm dodging it, but
That's why he's over there. That's why he's over there.
he's next to me.
Exactly. So what we'll do is we're going to open up to public comments at first. We're going to talk a couple during the meeting. We will go into some conversations. The board is going to, if at any time anybody here and present or online would like to ask a question, if you're online, throw your hand up. Then we will call on you. Please unmute. If you can, stay muted otherwise, just so we don't have any technical problems. That stated, thank you, everybody. Does anybody have any public comments that they'd like to start off the conversation? Okay, easy enough. Let's get right down into the weeds. Karen, please, you being our land use chair, give us a land use update.
Well, something important is going on tonight at the Planning Commission, and I urge you all to go on, excuse me, go online and you can watch the meeting. You probably know or aware of the Stevens Ranch project right on 27. There are 260 acres to the east of it called the Stevens Road Tract. And it's been set up by statute. The master plan has been submitted and it's well worth reading. It's about 260 acres. They're going to be planning 2,500 residences, about 280 townhomes, 1,460 multiplex units, 1,188 apartments. There's going to be about 40 acres of open space, including a 23-acre park, about 13 acres for commercial and mixed employment. And what's really important is that there's about 24 acres that are going to be deeded to the city for affordable housing. And this affordable housing is going to be primarily, it's intended at this point, for school district employees. So the teachers will be able to afford to live in Bend if they teach in Bend. It's much more complicated than the summary I've given. All the documents will be presented to the Planning Commission tonight. And it's an idea of what is coming. Certainly not for a year before they start, but it's going to be a big deal. And particularly in terms of traffic for the east side of town, it's going to be a really big deal. So that's what I urge people to watch. It's going to be important.
You said 24 acres?
24 acres will be deeded to the city for affordable housing.
Okay, and that's within the current like Stevens
Tract.
tract. So that's the
Yeah,
one.
Stevens Ranch, little, about 300 some acres, right on 27 where the library is. This acreage is on the other side of the gas line that goes through the property. No one seems to be concerned about whether that's safe or not. So I guess we just trust our officials on that. But it's going to be a huge development when it starts.
Ross, would you mind pulling up our website? So people we can share that really quick.
I shared a link to the Planning Commission as well.
Okay, so on our website, we have a whole section regarding development. Because there's so much going on, literally, there are a lot of projects currently listed there. So this is our homepage. So if Ross went to Southeast Area Development,
Meetings, all right, yeah. Southeast Area Development.
and then if you notice, there starts to be a list of everything highlighted in bold blue. The Elbow, the Union Master Plan, Stevens Ranch, Easton. As soon as we hear of anything that we get officially from the city, we put as much information there as possible. So depending on what your interests are, then you can go there and zoom in.
And since there's so much going on, Dirk has kind of set this up as basically everything that's particularly pertinent and happening right now. And as things basically come to fruition, they will drop off of this as well. So we're going to try to keep this as clean as possible.
Which is challenging since a large majority of these are operating simultaneous and they will be going for years.
Who's the builder for Stevens?
Be Stevens Tract, TRACT.
Who's the builder of the houses?
I'm not sure.
There are multiple builders.
Yeah,
So there's an over God developer.
That's a legal term.
Yes, that's a legal term.
I thought the primary developer of Stevens Tracts to the east was Hayden Homes.
I think
They are
it's
the
the-
primary developer of one of the first developments of housing going in. Is Hayden, but if you look at the master plan, there's also gonna be large park area, there's gonna be commercial areas, and there's gonna be high density housing areas, and those are, a bunch of that is still available for sale. So as time goes on, individual developers buy and sell those properties. It is not in itself a master planned community with one, there is the overlord that bought all the land from the state.
It's the Polish isn't involved in this.
At this point, they are not. That does not mean they could not buy some of the land. So for instance, if you go immediately to the west to Stevens Ranch, you've got DR Horton building some homes.
It is Hayden Homes.
Hayden's Homes is one of the developers for Stevens Tract.
I thought they were the primary. They're
27 track is the one behind it.
Yes, and there is a huge natural gas line that's like 100 feet wide of easement that is perfectly straight, but on a bit of a diagonal. And that is the one side is Stevens Ranch, the other side is Stevens Tract
So Hayden's Homes.
for development
And that
purposes.
needs to be remain unbuilt, the area of the pipeline.
You cannot build, this is the Trans-Canada natural gas pipeline. It is a ridiculously large underground natural gas pipeline that essentially goes to California. Well, you go down and then there's a bunch of land on either side, but no, you don't want to like have Random Bob digging in his backyard and hitting this kind of pipeline. It would be an interesting experience.
News does report that Hayden Homes was selected to purchase the land and lead the development.
Okay.
Okay.
We had a meeting last week, the city did, regarding the rounds about at 15th and Ferguson.
Mhm.
We have all of that linked on our website as well. It's not under development. If you went to our calendar, the meetings and events, and look at last week on the 5th.
Does it want to look backwards? There it is.
You can go there and then where it says, this will then redirect you to the city's website. So this is sort of how people can navigate what's going on. We leave things like that up, and then there will be links to whatever's going on at the city.
well,
I
it
just
would be
think-
working, in terms of the roundabout, I think I've been planned for a couple of years from now. There's been so much pressure that they are moving it back. I think construction is going to start this summer, and they're going to do it as quickly as they can. With the question was,
As quickly as
yeah,
possible.
well, are they going to have any areas where traffic can get around it as they're constructing it? And they haven't decided that yet. There's some talk about making a road that you can go on 15th and on to Ferguson. but they're not sure about that. They may simply close off the whole area and build as fast as they can. That hasn't been decided.
Are you talking about through that cul-de-sac and through the end of the cul-de-sac that would then spill out onto Ferguson because there's no other way?
Chloe, you're talking about?
No, that'd be physically possible.
No,
Before.
it would be possible, but it would
Yeah.
have.
It happened like 7 years ago.
Well, that would only be the south side of it. So if people have
Yes.
questions about possible detours or anything, we
Oh, I hadn't
encourage
heard that
everybody
before,
to go
so.
to the
Yeah.
website. I think there's still,
TBD for
Yeah.
sure.
there is still a week left. You can submit comments to the city. But if
Only
you,
a week left, really. Okay.
they're only allowed 2 or 3 weeks of comments since this meeting was a week or so ago.
Good to know. I know I would like to input something because I want some beautification on kind of the northeast corner of that roundabout to the outside of the roundabout. Because right now it looks like it's just going to be more gravel, but it's things like that if you want to provide.
It won't be just gravel, it'll be orange gravel,
Sure, riprap, whatever you want to call it.
so that nothing can.
We've been trying to determine what the name of this fancy orange rock that Ben has decided to use all over town is officially called. If anybody knows, we'd love to find out that answer.
I know, but I can't think of it right now.
It's like Arctic something, isn't it?
No, it has gold in the.
Oh, wow.
It does.
I know it. I see it referred to as riprap in other cities other than Washington, but
Use no plants.
yeah,
Yes.
I can't remember what like Mutual Materials sells it for or has.
Instant Landscape has it.
Yes, please don't lick the rock. So, any other immediate land use conversations other than the planning? So unfortunately, the planning commission meets at the same time as this meeting. So if you do have planning commission concerns, you'll have to either watch us on YouTube or watch them on YouTube later.
Well, there's another development that's coming in. They just submitted the application. It'll be before the city council on, I think, February 19. It's called Copperwood Crossing. And it's going to be one of the developments in the Southeast Area Plan. And it's going to be another very large development with commercial, with then light industrial, with a whole bunch of houses. It's going to add a whole bunch of traffic down there. But that formal plan has not been submitted or approved. We'll be putting a post on that when the city council approves it.
So yes, that will be on our calendar of development as well. So that's just something for people to constantly check in on. I think that's it for land use for
Yes.
tonight.
Yep.
Okay. Now let's go to a quick conversation regarding the county commissioner maps that will be presented to the public. Let's keep this to about 10 minutes. Ross, do you have anything to pull up?
I will share my screen again. I will just share our website, which has the map on the homepage.
Excellent. So for people that are unaware, a year ago, it went to the public ballot. The voters of Deschutes County decided to expand the county commission meeting or the county commission from 3 people to 5 people. The county commission, as of last week, decided to officially, they created a map through a multiple month long process, and they will be putting it for the voters to vote on in the November election at the same time as the county commission seats are going to be up for election. This is going to be an ongoing discussion for our board as well as the county in general. Our board feels it is important to focus in on this because essentially Old Farm and Southeast Bend are a part of the city that is either going to be combined with South County or we will remain at large. That said, we do have some information on our website for people to learn more about it. At this point, our board has not decided to take a position, but most likely moving forward, we probably will be taking a position. But saying that, we need to have a quick discussion as a board. And for a matter of record, our board does not back any candidates of any kind, but we do take positions on ballot measures, on levies, and on something like this. So first, I'd like, if anybody on the board has a comment they'd like to make regarding this whole process that we're going to be dealing with until November.
There is a lot that can be said, with the commissioners choosing to push it out to November. We'll have ample time to explore that, but the implications for our district particularly are substantial because we have so much going on in our district with explosive growth, and we have issues that are literally of statewide concern. And how that ties in with the population to be represented in South County is an open discussion. We will be having many discussions about this, I think, going forward. And I think we'll also reach out to the members of the Old Farm District for their input and feedback as well before we do anything formal, but it will be on our radar and being discussed for the better part of the rest of the year. So this is just kind of an entry point of following up the commission's decision last week to go forward with map C and place it on the November ballot.
Are we number 33?
I believe so.
Yes, yes, largely. It's
Part of
Part of-
Old Farm.
so we're also part of 25.
So those are districts. So yeah,
We stretch all the way over to 97.
Yep.
so yeah, so literally the top of that above 25 and 33, that's Reed Market Road. And then a straight line that goes from the purple in the town, that is American Lane, which then becomes Broster House, where it connects into Knott Road. There's a weird little square right across the street from Caldera High School that is
This?
part of District 43.
This is?
Yes.
Okay.
So there's quite a bit of
Um,
slicing and dicing going on.
so that is why we feel it is relevant as a board to discuss this and to bring it to people's attention. Because literally as a city formed body that's tasked with communicating with people, depending on how this goes forward, half of our representatives will literally have a different county commissioner than some if this map gets approved by the public. And that may be the case that people choose to move forward.
Just don't understand the rationale of why we're not purple throughout the whole, like, why are we not?
Well, the guidelines that the DMAC committee had to try and follow are public documents and are easy to.
The Deschutes Mapping Advisory Committee was a group of 7 people put together by the 3 county commissioners. One commissioner picked 4, the other 2 commissioners picked, wait.
3, 2, and
how many
2.
numbers? It was 3, 2, and 2, sorry. They spent 4 months working on the map and they were tasked by the commission to come up with a map. This is the map that advisory committee came up with. Commission has
Well,
now,
they had a selection of maps to choose from. This is the map that the commission voted to go forward with of the selection they had. They had multiple maps as options. The map C is the one they chose to go forward with.
I'm just curious, were we cut off like in all of the options?
No.
no, there were various, they were given, the Oregon state law has a very, there are certain requirements in regarding districting or redistricting. Normally, those all happen after the federal census. This is an unusual situation because it happened in between that time period. Like I said, we will continue to go into more detail regarding these conversations. We will reach out to the county and see what information they have as well. Hundreds of people have literally spoken on this in the county commission meetings. Ross, Karen, do you have any comments to say?
I just want to make sure it's really clear that for this next election, come November, I believe, when we vote for the 5 county commissioners, or not all 5, we're voting for 4 of them. All right, which is one up for renewal and then 3 more of the brand new ones, or something along those lines. Then those are all at large, which means all of Deschutes County votes on all of them.
So Tony DeBone's position is up for election. Patty Adair has opted not to seek reelection as she pursues another position. And then you have the two additional, the new positions that we voted for in November 24. So
And Phil Chang's position is not out.
he's the
But
only one that we know for certain he will be a commissioner a year from now.
And there are lots of questions regarding this. So yes, very good point that Ross made. This election in November will be at large for 4 positions. The map, if it is decided upon, will go into effect in 2 years.
If it's approved.
If it is approved.
If it's not, they stay at large.
If it is not, it will stay at large. Even if it is approved, there is always a possibility that it could end up in a lawsuit before the map goes into effect.
And if it is approved, it would almost likely be amended after the next census. So
Yes, after the 2030 census, all political maps get redistricted. So what you're seeing right now, these 43, 10, 38, this is all the result of the 2020
So it's
census.
every 10 years.
federal census, yes.
Yes, because one of the primary metrics is population. So for instance, in the southeast quadrant of Bend, we're looking at 5,000 homes that may be built in the next 5 years. Who knows what the next map will look like?
We know that growth isn't gonna happen in the other districts, because it literally isn't.
Exactly.
Exactly. So that said, we just want to keep everybody informed. We've been telling everybody on social media about it. There are all sorts of lots and lots and lots and lots of opinions. So just keep an eye out, or an ear open, I should say. Next topic. Let's go into the Southeast Bend roundtable discussion.
Before we do that, you want to talk about insurance? Just so people-
Oh, well, I was gonna do that at the board processes, but we can. Sorry. So Brian made a very good point. We'll talk about board processes. This is gonna sound kind of boring to some. It's very important.
If we're not here next week, you'll know why.
Just so people know, the 13 different neighborhood districts are a part of the Bend Development Code. We work outside of the guidelines of the city of Bend. We are elected positions. We currently have 2 positions available if anybody wants to join the board. And up until very recently, we were covered by a liability insurance.
Up until recently, we thought we were covered by a.
Well, we were, there was a change. So essentially, any nonprofit or non-whatever type entity, such as a board like this, it is extremely common to carry a liability insurance for all sorts of reasons. People get upset with us. We have literally had to deal with lawsuits in the past. So since we are citizens, we are volunteers, and we're your neighbors, and this is happening citywide, there is a great concern that the city told us that our liability insurance basically was null and void moving forward. And that puts us all at great liability. So our board needs to discuss today, or at least be very clear so that we all know that we are no longer covered. The city is working on this situation.
Because we would like to be covered.
Because we would like to be covered, because we don't feel that just being civically engaged should put us at personal liability risks to provide information to you.
And we should remind everyone that all 13 districts are similarly affected. So the whole idea of neighborhood districts The city of Bend is currently in jeopardy because none of us have any insurance coverage through the city, which we had previously. So the city is looking forward, well, they're searching for options and they're scrambling.
If any of you know any insurance agents that deal with corporate law or corporate anything, please send them our way or send them to the city of Bend.
And I believe we're covered here while we're working with Parks and Rec, but.
Actually, no. So normally we hold a general meeting once a year. Part of our liability coverage holds meetings. So right now you guys are covered. So if one of you fell, you can sue the Parks Department. If this was being held at her house and one of you got injured, she would be liable. So we're not having any meetings in any of our houses. Other neighborhood districts do not have guaranteed public meeting places like this for all sorts of reasons. So the general meeting at this point, until the city gets it resolved, we may not hold a general meeting. That said, we are working in conjunction with the city of Bend, and there is going to be a community-wide roundtable in 2 months, and we're going to talk about that tonight for the entire Southeast Bend. But that is actually going to be a city of Bend event, and we are not the leads on it. And that is a very clear legal distinction. Brian or Karen, you're the former attorney. Do you have any comments regarding the legality of?
Well, my husband's also a lawyer, put it like this. He does not know that I do not have insurance. If he knew, he would be very unhappy.
You watching?
No, he's not watching. It's every board I've ever served on had director's insurance. It is so routine. I mean, every 501c3 company or
HOA.
corporation, you cannot get directors unless you can tell them that you've got director's insurance. And the idea that the city has allowed this to continue when we are part of the city code, we're established by the code, seems very odd to me. And as I say, I just haven't told my husband yet. That's all I can say at this point. He'd be very unhappy if he knew, because we're all at risk, and it can be real. In 2009, a fellow closed the canal trail, and there was a big public uproar about it. People on this board took a position, and as I recall, the chair of the board ended up being sued, right, James? You told me that. Because they had taken a position that the canal trail should be open. So it's possible. And so even if it's a small risk, an unlikely risk, any director without insurance is at risk.
I'm sorry, somebody's trying to log on to our meeting and is having problems, so. I'm going
Suffice
to-
it to say, our activities will
Is
be.
it an
limited
insurance agent? by any
until the
chance?
insurance
Let me see if I got any money.
remedy. However,
Kim,
Is there still some uncertainty about funding for the
got it.
neighborhood associations?
Well, we have allocated funds for the fiscal year, but we never have anything beyond the current year we're in. So it's a year-to-year situation, and the funding does change from year to year,
I thought it
which
was reduced quite significantly.
it's gone up and down.
Yes,
It's a little bit, it's less than it was, let's put it that way.
there is, like everything in the city of Bend's budget for a biennial allocation. The city of Bend's, or city council, has us on a flat fee of 75, I think 75, no, 95,000. That is divided up between all 13 districts. Historically, it was divided up by door. We do not know what their new algorithm is. And
Pretty sure it's a pie
unfortunately,
cutter. Pretty sure it's a pie cutter.
yeah, and unfortunately, now with the old farm, literally every day, a new house gets a move-in permit approved. That means our funding at the beginning of the year per house is significantly lower at the end of the year. And That's something that if you guys do value what we do as a board, send an email to the mayor, the city council, say we value the neighborhood districts. Please fund them, continue the funding, et cetera, however you want to do it. We can fill anybody in on that at another time. We'll stick with board processes for just a little bit longer. There's a couple of things that we need to do for house cleaning, and it's great that if anybody wants to hear. So if any of you are from if you actually live in the Southeast Neighborhood District, we have been asked, and we are working with the city staff to help get their board up and running with a full board again. In doing that, we're reaching out by way of communications. We're inviting people to our meetings. We're going to be communicating with them on social media. So if anybody, we do not believe any of our issues end at Murphy Road. So just because you live on the other side of Murphy Road, things matter. But unfortunately, the way the city does have all of this designated, that is an entirely different district. That is Southeast Bend. And I say that just in case any of you are in the audience and you do have any questions, please ask or talk to us after the meeting and we can go into further detail if you have any questions regarding that. So now when we come to our board business, and some of this house cleaning is, we have been actively working on our website. And I ask if you could please pull it back up. And we briefly navigated through it a little bit. Give us a second. Homepage, please. So one of our newest things is this from the board section. We are going to be updating this on a regular basis, every 2 or 3 weeks, maybe even earlier, depending on the topic. So my question to the board is, we need some sort of policy or guidelines moving forward of how to do this. Currently, Brian, myself, and Dirk have sort of been working together to fill these in since we changed this format in December. I need to hear from each of you what you think best practices should be regarding this messaging. And on that, I'm going to say, Brian, I'm going to let you talk first on this topic, and then I'd like to hear from the other board members.
Oh, from my perspective, I think it's a super important piece where we get to voice, direct, or otherwise share information that can be really timely. We changed that, I think, 3 times last week because there was so much going on that we try to make it as topical as we can. It will also be an introduction to some of the topics that we want explored, that we are looking for feedback from district. As mentioned, we will pursue feedback from the district regarding the MAP-C county issue at some time in the future. We will be in the very near future soliciting feedback on what's important to our district members in terms of feedback to give to the city before they hold the Southeast Bend Roundtable on March 12th. And we will probably maybe tomorrow or the next day change that from the board to basically announce that as a save the date situation, getting a little bit ahead because I know we want to talk about that. But I think from a writer of a lot of the topics thus far, I think we need to have understandings in terms of the process, who wants to be involved, what we think the approval process needs to be, and other such functions, because I feel like we all have equal access to the opportunity to post there. Some people may not want to. Some people may want to just be editors, but in last week was a good example because we had to turn stuff quick. And so we haven't really discussed this, we've just kind of done it. And so we wanted to take this opportunity to step back and say, okay, we're doing it. We kind of sense how it's going to work. What do we want the processes to be? What are the limits? And what do we want to see done before something goes live? In terms of, does the board need to vote on it? Or are we gonna authorize the writer with the board chair's overview to just post, et cetera, et cetera?
And to clarify for the board and to the audience, when this board speaks to the city council regarding topics, we usually go out of our way to get as much input as we can from the populace. And then we speak on behalf of the board. This here is literally our board not speaking on behalf of the populace. It is the board talking to the populace. So you are 100% welcome to disagree with anything we say. That is fine. We encourage you to write us, tell us that. I just want to create that distinction, especially to the board, my other board members here. That said, Ross, you looked like you had something to possibly add. I don't know.
No, I think you covered it. It's a communication channel to the members of, or the residents in the community. So,
Are there any things that you want to see included in the process for words to show up on the
I
page?
don't want to have too much red tape. Certainly there should be communication to the board when a change is being made. I don't know if it needs to go through some sort of formal approval process. It isn't like we're putting in sensitive information here or anything like that. I would like to see it down the road kind of integrated with like social media postings as well, in case people tend to get their news and updates
We are
from
doing
there
that now.
instead. So that when something gets posted here, it's automatically posted to like Instagram, Facebook, and Reddit and whatever
I
else.
don't know if it's automatic, but Jen is posting those. She is informed every time from the board gets changed, she gets a copy of it.
Awesome. Then yeah, I think that basically covers it.
But what about authorization for something to go live? Are you granting, or you two are the only two board members that are not currently engaged in the process? So.
No, but I've seen the mailings and I've chatted with Dirk about it, as he's the one who's actually pushing the updates out, and everything seems fine to me. I'm not concerned about formalizing an approval process beyond that, especially since I feel like we want to have redundancy between all of us so that any of us can go ahead and go through that process. I guess I would like to see at least two of us in agreement on it. That's so far been the case for us.
Well, as I guess the primary writer to date, nothing gets, well, first it has to go through either you or Dirk to get there.
Right.
But nothing, the first stop for me is always the board chair. Because I want to make sure that I'm factually correct and that I'm contextually accurate. And that's sometimes James will have feedback, say, well, tweak this word, drop that word, whatever, which is super important. And then he'll see final copy and if he greens light, it goes to typically Dirk to post it.
Right.
Or you.
But
I'm back up. I understand that. I prefer it that way. So that's great.
So, but it doesn't, Karen's not inputting it on idea, Jen isn't yet. Other people are seeing it in the process, but do we want to have any discussion, or are we good with doing that like that way? Or do we want to have something else, just so we all know what the rules of the road are going forward?
Well, I like the idea because it's personal. And it's our personal opinions of what we think might be noteworthy. Because we're posting all of the formal things that the city is doing. But some things I think we may be more important than others. So I like the idea from the board. I like keeping it kind of casual. And it's what each individual board member thinks should go out to the membership. And whoever wants to write it, or two people write it, just let them know what our ideas are. It's not earth shaking, but it's an idea of what we think is important given all the circumstances. So I like the idea.
Well, one of the things that I would like to see happen is, as we have an agenda tonight, I would like to see this on the agenda every month so that we can have the discussions. Because right now,
Ideas, you mean ideas going forward?
yes, right now, James and I have a general idea. There's so much stuff going on that we have to prioritize, like, okay, slide this one in here, do this one after that, wait for that board meeting, then post the results. So we're doing it in advance, most right now because there's so much stuff
Are
happening.
we doing this, are we gonna do this weekly, or how often will we do it?
That's necessary. Like now we have very,
The Stephen Track.
we have a very urgent need to focus almost entirely on that southeast.
Okay,
Roundtable.
all right.
And that's why this has been set up as well, right?
Yeah.
The Southeast Area Development, so that doesn't have to all go into from the board.
Well, this from the board is not meant to be like all encompassing. Mostly it's gonna be
Okay.
a signal, go over there. Now, we are going to solicit feedback from the community because that's what the city has asked us to do. Tell us what your people want to know.
Okay.
Get the questions that they want answered from them. We're gonna have to collate that and then give it to the city and say, this is what our membership wants to hear the answers on. And that's why this is a really, really big deal. Because this isn't gonna happen again. You know, where you're gonna have the council and all the big wigs have been focusing all of their
Right,
attention.
hang on, you just,
It's still the headline.
yeah,
Anyway, I'll skip there. It's a big deal. It's a once, generation opportunity. So we'll use from the board to share the general information and also as a link to survey.
it's almost a hot topics. Just so people, okay.
Yeah, things we think is especially important.
Draw attention.
And on that note, we're working simultaneously, the current survey section is gonna continue to change. So whenever we change the survey, we put out social media content that directs to the survey. So in the next couple days,
And any change to the survey will be shown in from the board. It might be a separate bullet point, but it'll always
Yes.
be highlighted there.
so for the populace, if you want to know like a weird hot topic or something might come up and you might see it in the news, if you want to know more about it, reach out to us. We can see if we can figure it out if it is district-wide information, we can possibly put something there. Just so you know, the city only tasks us with creating one survey a year. We've already done 5 in the last 7 months, and we have been sending those to the planning commission, to city council, to the traffic department, because there literally is so much going on. Surveys, your opinion matters. Yes.
So this is a little bit going back to the topic we just had, but I am in Southeast Bend. And I'm wondering, is this the right place for me to be right now? Because there's not a functioning
Sure.
equivalent there.
Absolutely.
So I'm going to digress from this for a moment.
You turn. Hey,
Sorry.
use your signal.
So yes, we have specifically gone out and we're asking for you to be here. We want you to talk to your neighbors. So we can help you and get you dialed in, but what Southeast Bend needs is a functioning board. And that board must be approved by city council. This gives you an idea of how we think we function. All the other neighborhood districts do it differently, and that's fine. But when a land use notification comes up, our land use chair gets that. And then her as a representative looks at it, analyzes it, we put it on our website. What we need right now is when those land use notifications come through for your district, they go nowhere. Nobody finds out about it, which means nobody can even ask a question about development, which means you can't ask questions about traffic, you can't ask questions about anything. So we will do our best and help you guys moving forward. But yes, what we need is you to ask questions, stick around after this meeting. You can meet us and ask us more in-depth stuff.
So just
You
to
get a message.
the board, you do not have a board. And so there's no,
Equivalent of you that gets any.
Not anymore.
Of information about something.
there's nobody to answer the phone.
So when
Get the email.
Matt or Ross, do you have a map of the neighborhood districts?
Let me just add to what James said, is that we've been working, trying to get southeast, James' point earlier is, you're on one side of the street, we're on the other side of the street. We're all neighbors, and the things that affect us affect you and vice versa. So we really want Southeast to be up and operating and communicating. We will assume mentorship as needed for new people who join at Southeast. The most common question you're asked, like, what do you do? And city can't answer that question. The only people who can answer that question are other boards. And, you know, we do it one way, that, you know, Larkspur may do it differently, you may choose to do it differently, but the city can't answer that question. So we made ourselves available to anyone from Southeast who wants to know more before they commit to anything. And we're here to help support Southeast get the representation you deserve, because it's good for all of us, frankly.
What is the minimum number of board members?
Well,
So every neighborhood district operates off their own their own bylaws. So,
I mean, just so there was a board.
yes, so there was a board. So,
COVID had a bad impact.
COVID had a big impact on it. Basically, that, one of the last things that people in the Southeast really focused on was the Murphy Road gas station on the corner of Murphy Road and Broster House. So like that sort of question, really there is a defined answer. Like currently, our board shoots for 7. Some boards in town have more. We don't function without a quorum of at least 4. So when it comes to just, you know, how we go forward, we try to have a quorum before we speak on behalf of the board.
And we operate with 5.5 right now, right?
Yeah,
5 or 6.
we think we found a 6th. And then we have people that assist. So there's all sorts of ways that you could do this going forward. If you, please stick around after me. Okay. Okay.
I think the simplest answer to the question is that you need a certain number of people just to be able to do the work. It's just too much for one person, but it gets easier the more that you can spread it out. And the way our board is set up by whatever is we all have areas that we may be stronger at. And so we have each of the people on our board basically does something different, and then we all get together to operate. So, you know, but that's part of the process that we, you know, we're here to answer questions if we can.
And so we match us up if you hear of interest.
We're working with city staff, and the city staff is trying to reach out to everyone as well. So if you do leave, reach out to us by way of email, and we can help facilitate this. We can answer more questions. Okay.
And I'm losing power when you're around.
Yes, do apologize if we forget, you know, we work off electricity in this nation, go figure. We must change topics and go to the South End Roundtable. If we lose you online, we apologize. So the date of the Southeast Bend Roundtable is March 12th. It will be in the large room in the Senior Center, Larkspur Community Center. It is going to be hosted by the City of Bend. It is going to include the Larkspur Neighborhood District, the Old Farm Neighborhood District, and Southeast Bend, if they have any representation that can speak for them. Everybody that lives in Bend is welcome to come. Everybody that lives in the districts is welcome to come.
Encouraged to come.
And is encouraged to come. You'll be seeing advertising about it. We are going to be putting out a survey regarding what topics you want. This is a roundtable where every city councilor is going to be showing up. It is an official meeting, just like city council. The boards will be speaking with the council. City staff will be doing presentations. But if you have any questions going forward about anything, government related, development related, that the city council needs to address or can address.
Related to the southeast quadrant.
Yeah.
We don't want to, we have a limited amount of time. There's many, many issues that could be relevant to this event. So we want to, anything that's asked to be relevant to the southeast quadrant, because this actually the city
Can we
came up with this.
wrap this up? Probably got about 90 seconds.
Time, do we have a time yet?
What are the steps for people to get involved? in the
Well, there'll
board?
be a lot more.
Look online, check out our front of the board,
You want them to go to our website, oldenfarm.
go to our website, check social media. The
It's out there.
meeting will be starting at 5:30. The board must stay, even if we lose power, we've got to talk about this.
That's fine.
You're welcome.
Laptop's about to die.
Yes,
So the point being is that you're going to have everyone who matters to what's going on in Southeast now and in the future, they're gonna be there.
Yes.
And they're gonna set up, they're gonna develop the presentations that they make based on the questions we give them. So the questions that we give them, you'll get the answers to that in the presentations, and then the boards themselves, the district boards will have an opportunity to ask direct questions of them.
So you're talking that the heads of departments, city council, the mayor, our official lawyer for the city of Bend, gonna be answering your questions. Just so you know, the city of Bend has not done this with any other area of town. This was created because
So many
there's
things.
so much going on. You got to answer these questions.
So I really encourage everyone to share it with their neighbors and with their homeowners associations. Spread the word, because when we do our meetings, we mail to every single address in our district, which consumes pretty much our budget for the year. The city may not do that. So every household in the 3 neighborhood districts may not know about this. So it's really social will be out there. We're gonna post it, but you usually have to come at them from, residents from, like any message, you gotta come from a bunch of different directions in order to get everybody.
So we're 4 weeks away from this
What's the date?
March
12th,
12th.
March 12th.
It's a Thursday.
Thursday, and it'll be at 5:30. And then
Doors open at 5:30.
doors open at 5:30.
2-hour meeting. An hour of it will be theoretically prepared presentations and roughly an hour of Q&A. So good stuff. We're seeking a lot of answers that we ask them, and
Yeah, don't ask questions about whether or not the state of Oregon is going to be joining Canada, but you might want to ask questions about whether or not we're going to ban natural gas or something like that. On that note, any questions?
I guess we lasted.
We still lasted and we've got 5 minutes. So we need to figure out, huh?
Are we 10 minutes over?
Not according to that.
I thought we were at a 45-minute meeting now.
7:30.
No,
We're back to 60-minute meeting.
yeah,
Wishful
Okay.
thinking.
we never went to a 45.
Never.
That was because we had a Zoom issue.
So
Budget
we're
issues.
limit time, we have what?
5 minutes.
On the agenda.
The only thing that's still on the agenda is we as a board just need to discuss, and let's just figure out another time to have the conversation. We've got to get this survey and these questions out to the public, and essentially by Friday, no later. Earlier would be better. We've got some general questions the city has given us. My recommendation is we take those general questions and then we do a ranked choice voting. So the city wants to know, for instance, one of their hypothetical questions is, what do you want to know about growth? Well, the average person doesn't know what that means. So we should take growth, I think, and then come up with like 8 or 9 things.
How Bend housing is growing or something like that
It
around.
could be anything. It could be housing, it could be roads,
Commercial?
it could be commercial, it could be, well, that's another question. Complete communities. What is a complete community? People don't know. So
I would like a complete community to include commercial as well as public properties.
so one of my suggestions, and let's set up a time that works for at least the 4 of us. Jen can join us and Dirk as well, just so you, either you or you have full Zoom accounts, correct?
Yep.
So then I'm gonna leave it up to you to set out the messaging for us.
Well, let's talk about
Okay,
roughly
just-
when people are.
Just
available.
for a board only meeting where we. can
Board only
sum
meeting.
this out.
To hash this out.
Just
We,
put on
we
the-
tried to do it the other day for like 35 minutes and we made some progress. But since then, Dirk has been working on it as well, and so have I, and we need to coordinate all these ideas.
So we need an hour
So
somewhere.
we need an hour in the next 3 days.
Any block,
In the next 3 days, okay.
we need to go live with this.
Other
Thank you,
than
Brad.
that covers our agenda at this point for the day. Any of you have any questions or want to hang out, please do.
Should I stop streaming at this point or?
Yeah, at this point, we're gonna stop streaming. If you have any questions, shoot us an email. There's a lot going on in the future. We are losing power as we speak. It's a nationwide issue. Stop streaming. The meeting's come to a halt.
All right, thank you, guys.